Okay, this is take 2 on recording the audio because the first one didn't go through. So, this video we're going over the nail tips. And as you can see, we are using the GlamRDip tips. In this video we'll be going over using the Coffin, which I've already put them in a container, and also the Ballerina tips, which I've already put that one in a container as well. But yeah, as you can see in the container, it has like 10 different tip sizes, and it tells you the numbers for all of those tips. But I put them in containers because it's easier to organize. So we've got the C-curve square tips, the C-curve Coffin tip, and then this Ballerina full cover tips. So we'll look at the C-curve Coffin tips first. Alright, yeah, so if we look at them, you know, they're all sized up different. You want to size up each of your fingers so it fits on there. In terms of the tips, you want to make sure it's not too big that it fits over the side. And then, yeah, so we've got the Ballerina tips, so they're basically full cover, so they completely cover your tips. Yeah, so like as I mentioned, we'll look at the C-curve Coffin tips and just quickly go over what the C-curves are. So as you can see, they are not a full cover tip, it's more of a half tip, you know, to extend the length of your nail. So you'll be putting that on, gluing it with base onto the tip of your nail, and you want to make sure that it fits properly. So these side walls should be like complete with the nail and not flooding over the sides. Alright, so we'll look at the Ballerina tips as I mentioned before. So you see it covers the entire nail as opposed to the C-curve, which is only just a portion of the end of the nail. Right, so let's size up one of them so you can see what it looks like. I've cut my nails really short because I also have eczema. So anytime it's itchy, you know, you scratch a lot. So I want to kind of avoid that, and which is why I've got short nails currently, whilst I don't have any many on my nails. Now, we need to ensure that it is sized up properly. So like I said before, it has to be like, you know, on the side of the wall of the nail. Can't be over it, can't be shorter than it, just perfect on the nail if you see it on the sides. Yeah, so that one's pretty perfect for that one to use. So with the C-curve tips, you would attach it with base, and then you want to like buff it down so it's the same consistency as your nail. Now if we look at this one, it's too big. On the sides it's overflowing, so this is way too big to use on your nail. And if we look at this one, there's much off the side. Yeah, you can see that's not going to fit onto there, but this one would be better size, or like the one before it would be a better size for it. When I'm buffing these nail tips, I use the 240 grit, because if we use anything, you know, stronger than that, it's gonna basically destroy the nail tip. So yeah, that's the one we would use if we were going to use C-curve cover tips. It just makes it easier for storage, which is why I've got it in those containers. I also got the containers from Temu if you wanted to, you know, buy your own to store your tips. It just makes it a bit easier. Right. I also wanted to show the C-curve square tips. As you can see, they are a completely different shape to the C-curve Coffin. It's definitely a square, and I have used them like once or twice. I think with these ones, it's pretty amenable to being shaped, and you'd have to shape it quite well, and it's got that curve on it. Alright, on to my favourites, the Ballerina full cover tips. As you can see, they are full cover, and it's my favourite because it's full of tips. Yeah, I kind of bulk buy tips when GlamR Dip has sales, so I've got, you know, whenever I'm ready to do a mani, I've got some there. And if you see on the sides, I've got numbers there for each finger, so I know what the sizes are, especially with doing the press-on nail sets. Now, we can size one up. We're using the size that we have on the side. Just to bear in mind, with the size we have on the side, that's for the press-on nails. If I was to like just do nails straight on like that and then do a mani, then I'd use that size. But because we are doing press-on nails, we go one size up. So instead of using the 3, I'd be using the 2. Because what happens is the nail tip will curve slightly under it when you've done your press-on set. So to avoid it being too tight, we use one just a little bit bigger, and that'll go onto your nail bed nicely. Which is why I've got that one set as the thumb. Right. Yeah, so if we were doing it on the nail bed, we'd be using the 3, but since we're doing press-on nails, we'd be using the 2, and you can see it's not too far off the shape of my nail. So either or could have been on, you know, if I was doing it on my finger, but we're doing press-on nails, so that's a bit different. So if you see with this one, that's way too small. So that's gonna pop off real easily and be too tight. And if you see with this one, it's way too big, so it's flooding the sides way too much. So we just need to make sure that it's the right size for the finger. But yeah, let's size up for the second finger. So if you look at that, that's gone on perfect. And you want to make sure that on the sides are covered as well, but it's not too big. So this is the size I'd be using for the press-on nails, and the number 1, or number 6 in this case, would be the one for that. Now in terms of pinky, it's usually the smallest, and I usually, as per I've mentioned before, for the press-on sets we go up one higher, just because of the way it will behave when we do the dip on the press-on nails. But yeah, that's pretty much our tips. They're pretty easy to use. We just use base to attach it, and we're pretty much all good to go.